What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all new episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Reunion Part 2. Let's get into it. So, we're continuing with the argument between Candace and Mia because Candace still wants to, explain her piece that you were the one that brought your mother on this platform. You can't say what you say. You can't do this. They can't tell me how to respond. And of course, Mia said, I brought my mother up here to inspire people. All that and then some. So you need to stop talking about my mother. Otherwise, watch your back. Wendy's like, watch your back. Yes, because she's overdue for an ass woman and it's not going to be by me. Like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's not Mia putting out a threat that she's going to whoop Candace's ass, but at some point, it's kind of like, Candace, you still have to be careful. Your mouth, you are absolutely automatically, entitled to speak your piece. But when you are entering a world of other people who do not fight back with their words, they fight back with their fists, you're going to have to take accountability that even though it could be a sparring back and forth, if what you say triggers that person to come out of their character and punch you in the face, I felt like, girl, you shouldn't have said it. It's vice versa. Because you're going to feel like what was said to you did not need for you to get out of this. But anyway. So then, of course, Karen said, are you talking to strangers on the street like this? Because it's not going to be good on your end. Because you also told me to burn in eternal hell. And that was the text message that Candace sent, that Karen spoke to the producers, because Candace did not like how Karen did not completely drop Monique like a bad habit to still be friends with her. And Giselle said, I am one of the women who've been here for the past 6 seasons, and we've never cut to the bone like you do. And Candace said, I mean, we do cut to the bone, but we do it lightly. And it'd be a little twist of fun, twist of humor, where it doesn't have to be a point where we're now about to be in physical altercation with people. So while it's true, because Candace said a lot of y'all talk to people to the bone. A lot of y'all go below the belt, which is absolutely true. Because then, of course, it comes down to body shaming. Candace going back and forth with Ashley talking about Mia's vagina being beaten to a pulp. And then the entire season about Wendy and her surgeries. And a lot of people have a history on this cast talking about surgeries of people, so talking about people's bodies and all this and that. And I had a thought about this earlier when I was watching the show today. I said, you know what, Candace? You are absolutely right. A lot of people on this cast have said things about certain people's body parts, have said things about people, life history, mental illness, their body, all that and then some. But what made me not fully, what's the word? I can't say understand. I think it's just something that's sticking to me that doesn't really connect to what's happening recently. We are now in a very time-sensitive area where everything that we say gets instantly called out on social media. And we're having a full-on discussion. Probably things that we not fully discussed, things we overlooked, never got into full depth about, that we're now putting our full visors on and talking about it. When it came down to this show, I was completely in tune with Season 1 and Season 2. I fell out in between Season 3 and 4. But when I saw the promo for Season 5, I was like, oh, let me in. Because I pretty much was pretty caught up with everybody and what they were doing. But I also looked at, in that time, the show was not as big as it was. It was a starting new show with new people and possibly new way of looking at other people on the show. So all the things that was said probably did not get a lot of, I can't say flack, feedback to have a conversation than it was at the beginning. Because nobody tuned in the way that we tuned in since Season 5. Even though Season 4 and Season 3 were really good seasons, it wasn't as deeply as we're having these types of conversations about colorism, about classism, elitism as we are now. So while Candace has a point that everybody cuts the white meat and cuts to the bone, but I do feel like in the beginning stages of the show, it wasn't as popular that we're now having these full-on discussions. She's right, but in the beginning, nobody was really thinking about it like that. Because I wasn't in tune with the comments. I wasn't in tune with going on social media and finding out more about the show, who had an opinion. I was just watching just to watch it. So, then, of course, it led to Ashley taking accountability because since we're talking about body parts, yes, the comments that Ashley made about Sharice's saggy titties, she said, yes, I will admit, the things that I said, Karma's a bitch. Look at me. I'm the one with the saggy titties now. So it's not hard to take accountability for things that were said in the past, but I understand Candace's plight to make a point, how in the beginning we've all swept things under the rug, probably because it was just shade. Like I said, it probably didn't even mean that the way it means now. and talking about Mia's big feet, and you know how you're not gonna come back and tell me I can't respond, I can't do this. But at the end of the day, the more you respond, people are not gonna stay tuned to. They're gonna tune you out. So that's fine, tune me out, but don't tell me I can't respond to things. And that's totally fine, Candace. You can definitely respond to things when you feel like there's something I need to respond to, because this is bullshit. I'm gonna stick my ground and I'm gonna say what I need to say. But at the same time, it's just like nobody has ever gotten to an altercation the way that you have. But Candace came back with the receipts. Both you and Robin walked to Ashley's Kangaroo Jack restaurant, and y'all both got in her face because Ashley was talking about her and Juan's finances. Robin got in Ashley's face, even though there's a place at Ashley's business. She said, "Get the fuck out of my face, Robin. Get the fuck out of my face, Robin." I'm pretty sure Ashley probably would have went there, but I know she's in her place of business. She does not want to lose her restaurant. So she's like, "Girl, get out of my face. How dare y'all come to my place of business with this shit?" And Giselle, you were being a cheerleader, pumping Robin on to get in her face about that. And then here goes Giselle. I did not know what Robin was going to do, because Robin said when she saw Ashley, she saw red. So that's also something that was happening. Really? And then the umbrella incident, where Ashley and Monique were having a conversation about Ashley saying that Monique was driving drunk and that could have led to her miscarriage. Wrong for Ashley to say that shit. While they're trying to, have a conversation and let it get squashed, Giselle and Robin want to come in and say, whoa, what you mean? And Robin bucking up to Monique and says, "Girl, I will choke you out of this umbrella. Try me if you want to." But why would I do that? So I could lose all the shit I worked hard for to make your dreams come true, because you need the money. So that was another incident that Robin had engaged in, and Giselle in the background in her confessional saying, "Why is Monique coming at Money Mayweather Robin? Why?" At the end of the day, Giselle, it doesn't fucking matter. You let Robin fight your battles, and Robin do it willingly. No brain whatsoever. And of course, nobody's going to say nothing because Robin feels like she can bully people with her weight. You ain't going to bully nobody, Robin. You can't even have Juan come to the reunion on time. Let alone, no. I'm going to wait. So basically, it's just like, try to come up at a different way to get your point across where you don't go below the belt. But Candace, I'm better at it with my words. Sorry that you guys are not. So Andy goes to Mia saying she's a disaster on Twitter, and as he told Candace. So Mia admits it. She had posted, said some terrible ass things, especially towards Escala, because there had been some behind the scenes that Mia was pretty much hazing Escala for being another person on the new cast. And she admits to the post that she's made, but she also has a social media account manager who is also a longtime friend of hers, who knows how she's feeling and will pretty much have a psychic sense of saying things for her. And Escala comes up with her printed receipts of the tweets that was said. And everything that Mia has said back and forth, it was like, wow, Mia, you are a disaster on Twitter. But that's what all new girls do on the show. They make a splash, they end up doing too much, and it's like, are they even worth coming back next season? Let them pull back a little bit. I know you want to make a big splash coming onto a season so we can get yourself noticed, but girl, sometimes you need to pump your brakes. So at the same time, it's kind of like, holding me accountable with her being a disaster on Twitter, which was the case. I mean, she did admit the things that was posted about scholars. She did post it, but it still did not sit well with them that she used the excuse of a social media manager who was also a friend of hers to speak on her behalf. They just said, "Are you paying her overtime? Because how you know I'm living in a townhome? How you know I'm living here? How you know I'm doing this and doing that?" People research you when they trying to read your ass. They research you. It's nothing new. So, then it was asked by a scholar, you're saying that Mia showed classism, but you guys showed the most classism, you and Candace, because you guys kept on bringing up her past as being a stripper. A scholar said, listen, her past is her past. I can't do that. But it is tacky and classist for you to constantly bringing up your money every 5 minutes for us to get to know you. While in the beginning, a part of me was half and half. I did not mind that Mia did it, but I understand if we want to get to know you, let's get to know you. Don't come out with your account, your annual income. Don't do none of that. So, but I do also feel like a scholar and Candace did do a lot at Williamsburg when they were talking about Mia and Gordon's dynamic and how she was picked up off the curb. Skylar didn't say nothing about those types of reads that Candace was giving to her. She, her benefactor. Skylar didn't say nothing. And the whole classism, I mean, you guys made Mia feel dumb that she doesn't know the difference between showing money or doing this and doing that. Y'all don't know the difference between how she got her clitoroplasty done, but she had 3 C-sections. Y'all made her... Yeah, you guys definitely made Mia feel dumb, and I feel like Mia is in a land of embellishing. Kind of like Lizzie Lohan's movie, the Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Since she did not have a good upbringing, she was led to make, you know, her life sound better than what it was now that she has everything that she has. So her stories can be a tall tale. It can be, oh, that's not real. But it turns out it just is. She just has a way of storytelling where it might be fabricated, but it's actually not. And then, of course, you know, she said, fine, in the day, I know I did too much. I know I'm messy. I know I was doing too much. But in the day, you know, I did what I did. But next time I will do better. And I will not let these girls get me out of my character. So I won't have to worry about that no more. So I'm going to be done. So then that's like, okay. And they was like, okay, that's all I have to say? Yeah. I'm not going to give any flack. I'm not going to give any fever for you guys to let me, you know, go out and engage with you guys like this. I'm just going to roll it off because you guys don't mean nothing to me. I got too much to lose. I'm a busy woman. So Candace felt like that wasn't a friendly response. If you want to be a part of this group, that you cannot move forward, you cannot try to be cordial, you cannot develop some form of relationship where you won't feel like you have to read us to that extent. But she said I was being honest. And I'm not mad for her honesty. At the end of the day, which one do you want? Do you want her to be honest and upfront for how she feels, or do you want her to be fake and still be friendly with y'all when she doesn't want to? Make it make sense. That's to me still not they still not liking how she's talking, not liking how she's saying, and it's annoying. Y'all did not agree or did not understand where her upbringing was. Y'all didn't understand it. Y'all didn't understand her surgeries for some odd reason. And now you're still not understanding how in the day, I'm not going to let you guys get me out of my character. I'm not going to engage you guys the way that I have. I understand I'm new. I did too much. I'm sorry. I take accountability. I'm going to move on. So, So after that, they all break. It was a scholar. Thank you, Scholar, for being here. You're welcome. Thank you. Y'all only had a scholar for about 2 seconds to give her 2 cents about how her and me have had a Twitter beef in between the season, and that's it. We're not going to talk about how a scholar was introduced, how long she's known Robin, just from that point. But I want a scholar to come back because I like her. All that makeup and all that sitting there waiting for Justin to come out, that's it? Okay. So they break for an hour to everybody go to their dressing rooms to, you know, woosah, take a break. Wendy goes to Candace's room and see how she's doing, and Candace admits that, you know, she's a bitch. Her words can be harsh, but if you don't come for me, I won't go that route with you. And Wendy gives her pretty much like the same like, I got your back. I understand how you feel, and it's okay. Your words, you have every right to express your words because your words are like hell to them. But go ahead and still do it. So then we go through Karen and Giselle's dysfunctional relationship, how they've gone back and forth between the fiery hot box, Ray's Ding Dong Don't Work, who the fuck is Sing Sing, like all that, and then you're a broken whore from Hampton University, okay? So the whole hot box, Andy was like, what's a hot box? It's a STD. A woman got a hot pocket, you know, she is full of, you know, burning and itching things down there. So, even though it was from the same non-credible blog, All About the Tea, that has said something about Giselle and has said something about Robin, Wendy. And Wendy is literally catching it by saying, oh, so we're going to disregard those because that's not what was right on the show, huh? And, because it's kind of like it's a hypocritical and a contradiction. You guys feel like Giselle brushed off that blog off her shoulders, right? She didn't give no flag, no fever, but you thought that Wendy was going to give no fever, not have a way because you're talking about a rumor that talk about her husband. Like, how could she not roll that off her shoulders? That's how you guys are looking at it. Girl, roll that over. It's not true. At the end of the day, you're speaking about my husband. Let's talk about it. So Karen apologized for the whole broken whore from Hampton University comment towards Hampton University, but she is still sticking down to what she said about Giselle being a broken hoe. And of course, the whole thing, how Giselle did not mean to wish death on Ray. We're going back to the shade she made 4 years ago. Granted, shade. But I think either Giselle made a point to still bring it up, even though it was uncomfortable for her to hear how she will be dead before she gets an apology. Ray will be dead and buried before she can afford another house. Not funny. But of course, since Giselle and Robin know each other so well, Karen said, what if I said that about your father? I know you wouldn't have meant it because you would not disrespect my father like that. You would never go to that place about my father. So I did not mean it. Karen finally admits but did not fully take accountability that now that she sees throughout the season, you did not wish death on Ray the way that I thought you did. But the whole thing about how Karen felt like it was about her kids, your kids were grown, like 19 and 24 at the time. They was not that offended or scared or hurt by what Giselle said. And then if you did have an issue with me saying it at that time, why didn't we discuss it in the previous season or the next season? Why did you wait till season 6 to now want to create this with me? Why? Because my daughter didn't want to talk about it. She was hurt. She wanted me to keep quiet. Karen, no. Come on, Karen. For real, Karen. You held on to that simple shade for the last 2 years to now bring it up. Okay. So, it was asked, isn't it hypocritical of Giselle to want an apology from Karen about actual facts about Jamal on the blogs, but yet you couldn't get an apology for what they said about Eddie in a blog? So at the end of the day, she's like, it is hypocritical because what Karen said about Jamal was actual facts. That was true. Which said about me was lies that you brought on the show. But then Giselle can't take accountability. She can't take the heat. Put in her place. She brings up how Wendy looked at her daughter cockeyed. I'm like, when did she do that? So it was the end of her reasonably shady event. Grace is about to drive Robin's car, and Wendy just looked at her. I'm like, I don't think she even looked up. She just looked. I don't know what that. Okay, Giselle. No, I don't agree with that. So, Wendy said, "I'll apologize to Grace." That's what I will do. I'm woman enough to say, if you feel like that, I apologize. Now, apologize to my children because they can read about what they said about their father. Now, Giselle's going back and forth about how she does not believe it. I was standing up for their father. Like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. Because you kept bringing it up on the show. If it's not true from a non-credible article, from a non-credible blog that you guys keep saying, why keep bringing it onto the show? Why? So Wendy said, now this blog might have been seen by hundreds that you brought on the show. It's now seen by millions. Even though throughout the entire season, Giselle kept saying it's not true. But Giselle was the one that also, in that same notion, said that maybe her plastic surgery is connected to how her behavior is and also how the blog is being presented now. You said all that. And then it's yes, and you didn't stop it. You kept it going. You kept talking about everybody else but me. So then how we're still talking about the same thing, how we go below the belt, talk about other people's problems, and not problems, but other people's behavior. Robin said, well, Karen called Giselle a alcoholic, a drug addict, and a tramp. But the fact that the way that they did at the table, they were sparring back and forth and did not engage in any physical activity. Probably because Karen and Giselle have done this for years. They have read to the white meat, always bounce back from it. Probably because they're either older, but don't feel like I need to fight to prove my point. I need to fight to say, so I'm talking about my husband. I can easily read you and play your ass dust. So it's like telling Candace, maybe you don't have to take it there to that limit because nobody could spar better than me and Giselle. Even though we both said aggressive things at times, we've never gone to blows. So can you see that, when it comes to like this, can you put yourself at 50%, not 100? But at the end of the day, Candace's main point is y'all both said things that was below the belt. But I can see and agree that I might, go by differently, but I'm not changing what I say, which nobody is saying that. Just be careful what you say and be careful what happens after you said it, because you might meet another person who's not going to take your words lightly. That's all it is. Because, of course, she said, listen, we got a verbal sparring every day on this cast. But when it comes to me, watch out for Candace. Watch out for her. But it's all about how you take it. It's all about how you go about it. Because obviously you can have light shade. You can have very dark shade, very humor shade. But it's all about the other person being pretty much equipped to take it and equipped to give it back. So Karen and Giselle both apologized. And now they both need to say something nice about each other. Giselle appreciates Karen for bringing a gift to her home, speaking to her daughters because she's seen her daughters grow up. She knows she would never disrespect them. And Giselle even starts to tear. I've never heard her sound so choked up before. And Karen said, our motherhood will bond us. I want us to move forward. And, all I want is just, for us to be good together. And we will always continue to spar with each other. We'll always shade each other to the death. Know that. So then we get to Ashley's segment. We're going back and forth with her body, postpartum, her placenta pills, Michael and his movie making business, her feeling like she's still attracted to him, all of that. So, of course, balancing motherhood and her postpartum. She had postpartum with Dean. Did she have postpartum with Dylan? She said, I did find myself in my dark moments, but with the energy from the placenta pills and looking at my baby boy, Dean, I instantly light up and I'm out of that dark space, which I can understand. So it was asked, everybody was concerned that he was gonna look like Michael, but Dean looks just like you actually, and he does. And Dylan's had to look like her too. I believe she is super happy. Hence why she says she's happy that her kids look like her, because I don't think Ashley wants Michael to take after those children. I don't think she wants her kids to look like Michael, not in the freaking least. So then out of the galaxy of bad ideas, Michael wants to produce movies. Why is that? Well, he's been doing real estate for 40 years. He got a little bit of change in the bank. And maybe he's about to finally pursue something he's been wanting to do his entire life. So Wendy asked, what kind of movies does he want to film? It instantly cut to her not answering that question. It was asked again, what movies does he want to film? She don't even know. But everybody was like, girl, we know what he wants to do. He wants to produce some porn. It's okay. But I feel like Ashley didn't want to answer that question because she knew the answer. And she didn't want to say nothing. So then, has Ashley been Ashley? Has the sex drives been there? Have you and Michael have consummated? She answered on her behalf. I felt like she didn't answer but with Michael in mind. She said, I'm back to my old self. I'm a sexual person. I'm happy. I love my body. I love myself. So I'm good. So then I'm going back to my socialness. So Giselle said, and with the ladies. Now she said, I'm not saying no, but in the near future, might, dip into the lady pond there and there. Might get back out there in that area. So back to the body shaming. Candace, why do you constantly talk about Ashley's motherhood? The breast milk, her postpartum body, her forehead. Why do you do that? She said, I was being nasty for someone who didn't like me, who said some mean things about me. Ashley said, answer the question what he asked of you. Why do you continue to be nasty to me when it comes to my postpartum body, my wide body ass, and my breast milk? Why do you do it? Because I feel like at the end of the day, that was insensitive to someone who just had a baby. She just had a baby. And whether or not you agree that Ashley should have been there or not, come on, going for her obvious insecurity is her body. Knowing if you've had a child, knowing that all the body weight you have once the baby's born, you got all this extra weight that you got to push down to get your shape back. You're still feeling insecure about yourself. And Robin said she knew where to hit. She knew that button to push. She knew where to go. And then it was trying to be comparing. So was Candace said was body shaming versus then Michael saying that he didn't like your body where it was now? Because everybody thought it was disrespectful for him to say that about you. While while that was the clip was being shown, she looks at Candace and said, first of all, stop bobbing your weave. Stop doing that. She said, obviously, media training, cover for her husband. She said, at the end of the day, what Michael said was not meant to be offensive. It was some things that I've expressed to him. Knowing that, when you've had a baby, you tend to look at your body. You tend to feel like you're not attracted to your husband anymore. Does your husband still see you as the same woman that he met before now that you've had a baby? Do you find all my parts, all of my, my tiger stripes, my zebra cake stomach, my added weight? Do you find my somewhat frog's throat? Do you still find it appealing? Do you still find me pretty? Do you still find me attractive? Do you still find me sexy? And it's a normal feeling, really normal feeling. But I also do feel like in that scene where Ashley said it, I do see a sense of hurt in her. But she said, I'm a physical person. My husband and I are physical together. We do work out. We do this. So I must do this. This is one of those times where I've expressed to him how it's really hard for me to lose this weight, and I'm trying to get back to my regular self. I'm having a hard time with it. So that could have been a conversation that they've had, and he must have just repeated in that moment, which made it look like he's being, disrespectful, insensitive, hurtful, which I do believe he was. But of course, she's gonna cap for her husband. I can't say I'm not gonna do that. So it was asked, is Candace jealous of Ashley having a baby? And here you go, Candace, with her actress ways. Right, I am so jealous that Ashley had a baby for me. No, she's not jealous. She's not jealous. Because even though she keeps commenting on her breast milk and her forehead, she's not jealous. But Ashley said, in the day, Candace will get a slice of humble pie, and once her time comes, she'll apologize to me. I said, no, I won't. Oh, yes, she will. No, I won't. Because I'm not going to apologize to a woman. For me being a black woman, has said some comments about me because I have 4C hair, calling my hair dry. What? What are you talking about? So the fact that, okay, that's when Ash was like, first of all, hold up. Girl, I had dry hair too. We are not about to do this. First of all, let's get this colorism addressed right now. Right now. Candace, I did not know you had 4C hair. That's one. Number two, how is it that, because she said, I'm not going to listen to someone who has a looser curl and is light skin will tell me, being a dark skinned woman, I have 4C hair and my hair is dry. That's like a knownable fact for your hair to be dry, Candace. Doesn't matter what type it is. Any type can be dry. 3A, 4B, 3C, 2B. All of that type of hair can be dry. It does not matter if you're dark skinned. Cardi B did a post of the day to show how her hair care regimen has been working, and people automatically assume that because she's mixed, she's supposed to have a looser curl pattern, like some 2A, 3B hair pattern. No. Because I'm mixed does not mean I'm going to have a curl type of those looser, easy, wet and go curl type. No, we need to stop with that stigma. Being mixed does not mean I'm automatically eligible or automatically gifted with a looser curl hair type. No, that's not the case. Every type of woman who is black, half black, will always have a mixture or one type of hair that's either kinky, coily, or curly or wavy. It does not matter. Whether Ashley was light-skinned or not, her hair is her hair. And everybody has talked about Ashley's hair being frizzy, dry, a head full of tumbleweed. They've all said that about her hair. We have all said your hair looks dry too. You need some conditioner. You need to deep condition your wigs. But we've seen you in braids. We've seen you in turbans. So how is it you're using Ashley acting like a colorist versus saying you have dry hair? But you talk about her forehead all the time. And you admitted it. Because you said in that moment, I would always talk about your forehead. And instead talk about your dry ass hair looking like hay on the top of your head. And I've never heard for someone to get so upset because she called her hair dry. My hair is dry. I need to put some wild growth oil in my head. I need some deep condition. When I wash it, it seems so dry. But as soon as I put conditioner, it milks it, it soaks it, it wakes it up. And I have 3 types of hair. I have 3 types I have 3 types in my head. I have 4A, 3B, and possibly 3C in my head. I'm curly up here, curly back here, and a little bit kinky back here. But since I put a texturizer on my head, my whole hair is like an in-between 3B and 4. Thick and curly all the way ahead. It does not matter. Whether you are light or dark, you will always have either curly, kinky, or wavy or curly. It does not always mean when you're dark skinned, you automatically have an afro. No. That is not always the case. My aunt is as dark as me, and she has extremely curly hair pattern. Her hair pattern is curly. So curly, I wish I had her hair type. I wish I did, but I don't. So at the end of the day, I did not like that was Candace's intro to the whole colorism conversation. I didn't like that because I felt like, no, not really. Not really. Everybody has different types of texture. It does not matter if you light, dark, or in between. It doesn't matter. So Ashley said, at the end of the day, I have never denied that light skin and whites have better privilege than dark skin. I have never denied that. But I'm a biracial woman. I cannot change that. I cannot help that. What you want me to do? So say apply that to what's happening here. So Wendy says, so you believe that colorism exists in society, but not in this group. So everybody else can feel like it exists, but this group is void of it. Why is that? She said, because I don't feel like this group shows colorism naturally. I believe that it's been projected by the fans, and we have all have acted as if this is all that's there, and that's not the case. I did say there is colorism in the group, but the main people who speaks out to me is Robin and Giselle. You could say Ashley a little bit, but I feel like at this point, Ashley don't even feel like she even cares at this point. Not to me. Ashley don't give a damn. Because whether or not she is better privileged or not, folks like to, remind Ashley where she came from. Her and her mother lived under a bridge. So they're not going to look at her as if, she's God's given grace of where she's at. No. They're going to go back to her past, back to her humble beginnings, and read that about her. It wouldn't matter if she was dark or light. Y'all would still bring that up. Y'all would still talk about her like that. And the fact that people think that Ashley does not get read, Ashley gets drugged at any given turn. Any given turn, Ashley gets drugged. She gets drugged for her hair. She gets drugged for her comments. She gets drugged for her messiness. She gets dragged every chance she gets. But I feel like in the beginning where she did get dragged, it still feels like at this moment, the reading of Ashley sometimes isn't necessary to me. Not really. So, and then of course, at the end of the day, we're talking about light skin and white privilege and dark skin privilege, but yet you trying to have me, understand where you're coming from as a black woman, because people feel like you are being out as being a scapegoat. You're out as being a dark-skinned woman who has to be held accountable, has to be pretty much, silenced and making sure you do better. Otherwise, you're going to be at red and you're going to be the main one that's making the show look bad. But you call me a slave, though. I don't remember anybody in the comments calling me a slave. You called me a slave. No, I didn't. It went back to the scene. You did a tweet talking about, Michael, you and your overseer. An overseer means the owner of a plantation overseeing his workers. You could say it's overseeing his business, but your mind, Candace, you went towards plantation worker, aka plantation owner, Michael, overseeing his slaves, Ashley. You said that. I don't know where another person would think of to call another woman that. And you also called her a bed wench, a concubine. I remember when Tia was on a platform, Tamara, she was in an interview and she got flack for marrying a white man. And she even got tweets saying a white man's whore. Like, come on now, Candace. And you're married to a white man too. You obviously think that Chris gets some type of pass because his pants got a little bit of a tint in it. I don't know how you feel like it was so comfortable to say that out of your mouth, that it's okay to call another black woman a slave. Take accountability for that. Say what you mean. Whether or not it was said, whether or not it was actually started or not, those words that Candace says she needs accountability for. Take accountability for what you say, and then we can move forward. That's all it is. So then they go back and forth with, girl, find your check another way. Bitch, I had to my check before you sat your ass on this couch. How about that? That's what Ashley said. Thank you, Ashley. She said, I do, and I do. Because they both say that they use each other for a storyline. Ashley, you do sometimes, and Candace, you do sometimes. So I'm going to need for both of y'all to take accountability for that. So then, oh my God. So while the conversation is still being brought up, Candace said that she's still offended by the things that Ashley has done to her. And she starts to cry while saying, I'm not going to cry. So I hold a huge grudge over things that's been done to me, and I don't let it go. So Ashley said, what have I done to offend you? Andy immediately clicks in by saying the statement that she wrote for Monique. The statement that she wrote for Monique. Okay. And how you could be friends with this person. You're still friends with this person after what they did to me. I will never forget that. I was like, oh my God, Candace, I can't tell you when to get over something. I can't tell you. Your time frame has been gone and done. Come up with something else to get mad at Ashley about. But at the end of the day, if you did not, like Ashley said, she did not. I didn't think she cared if I made that statement, but I wanted to show also companionship and support of my friend Monique, and I wanted to help her because you were already surprised that she countersued you as if she wasn't supposed to. Girl, okay. But then, of course, Karen said, so are you still giving Karen that same energy because she's still friends with Monique? Do you still trust her? But we had a conversation early in the season that Candace doesn't trust Karen based off of what happened between her and Monique. She can't forgive her. But yet, Andy pointed out that y'all were seen in New York having a good time for Fashion Week. And Candace said, yes, we both had a fun time. We both did. Ashley's a fun time girl, but I cannot trust her. I can't trust her. But Robin chimes in by saying Ashley did not think that it would hurt you to this extent. She regrets that it hurts you like this, but at the end of the day, it happened. You're gonna have to get over it, move on, come up with another way to not like Ashley. But because we all knew that's where your energy stemmed from the beginning of the season, because of the statement that she made, whether or not everybody can agree to disagree that Ashley was the one that started that conversation, that started the argument with Candace. Candace still intends to pick up a weapon and flung it at Ashley. If you did not engage in that type of behavior, whether or not you was provoked or antagonized or started it or not, that was still a character statement written about you. That was still used against you. You're going to have to take ownership for that. You're going to have to. And, hopefully, they said, so can you move forward? Can you let it go? She doesn't know. Hopefully she can get to a place of healing because I'm done. Wendy's segment, going through all of her Zen win and her commentating and her owning up her business line for candles. And it was asked, what have you got done? So she got a breast lift, she got implants, she got a BBL, she got liposuction taken out of her stomach to put in her ass. And it was like, why wouldn't you say that in the first place when we asked what have you gotten done? All you kept on saying was happy in this. I got little tweaks. You were ashamed of talking about your surgeries, but yet you were giving Mia the pretty much surgery shame face by getting all her shit done. Okay, Wendy. But her reason was she wasn't trying to, say it all at once, try to talk about it, was because a lot of women get these type of surgeries and they end up dying on the surgery table. Going to Miami, going to, Istanbul, Turkey, all these other places that are pretty much hole in the walls, don't have clean utensils, and they're just, getting their bodies done and botched up body done is that point. So it's like, do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing before you decide to get surgery. And Robin was asked, why did you police her body so much? Robin said, I thought she looked beautiful, but I guess I used the poor choice of words by saying she was loose and no substance because her behavior was changed. And I was like, oh, girl, what is going on with her? I cannot find my finger on it, but what is happening with her? Is she all right? Because it was different seeing the professor of 4 degrees to now this, Zen Win, TikTok Wendy, all that type of stuff. So Robin admits she chose the wrong choice of words, but I still feel like y'all didn't like Wendy being a light of the party for the season, the voice of reason. Y'all wanted Wendy to be this stoic, sticking them up professor with these full ass wigs, and y'all wanted her to kiss y'all behinds because y'all was sorors. That's what it was. Y'all wasn't trying to come nicely, and y'all knew y'all didn't want to come nicely. Y'all came nasty, and when she gave y'all what y'all did not expect to give, y'all didn't know what to do. Y'all kept on looking like, oh, what happened? Ooh, what? So, and so at the end of the day, Wendy said, okay, so while you're saying out of concern, your delivery was the one that went left. It was your delivery. Because if we could have a simple conversation about how I felt, because, Wendy was being funny. She was being humorous. She was being light. She was being herself that she did not get a chance to be the first season. She thought she had to be this, professor, Dr. Wendy. This, uplifting character of society, versus them being who she was this season, herself. Did not think she could wear the outfits that she wore. Did not think she could be humorous. Did not think she could have a good time. All that and then some. So then, of course, they were talking about their interactions with the cast members because they felt like she was a new cast member with a whole different attitude. Well, once you get your boobs done, get your ass done, you got a new attitude. That's going to happen. You start feeling yourself. Hey, why not? So the interaction she had with Mia early on, I felt like was a little bit wrong because I think Wendy was hazing Mia a little bit because Mia got much of a better greeting. I don't know if a better greeting or a better welcoming than Wendy did because Wendy, you did bore us and also irritated with your 4 degrees comment. And it did make it seem as if what you've done, your dissertation, your 4 degrees, your John Hopkins, it made everybody else feel small. Like all we did was graduate from college. All we did was got our associates, got our bachelor, did not pursue it to get a doctorate, a master's, dissertation, all that type of stuff. It made the other cast members feel small. How y'all feel like Mia is doing that as well. That's why you changed your attitude and became more of a free spirit. Gave everybody else a chance because you didn't give everybody else a chance last season. You pretty much hopped onto Robin and Giselle, and now they put you on the island. You got to fend for yourself. And then her interaction with Ashley. And we all know how that went. You did the whole, people like you call me Dr. Wendy, which wasn't necessary. That was a little bit too much for that. So, but of course they say her rehearsed reads, but she said, listen, at the end of the day, I can read a White House representative because I get paid for my words. So don't fret. I can hold my own with these cast of women. Like, believe that. So we get to the candle line. Her candles are available for purchase now. I'm not paying for them candles, but her candle line is beautiful. Karen, same thing. And now Mia with her shady candle business. So everybody has a seat at the table of making it a success with their candles. And it's more than just her being a professor. It's just her adding to her wheelhouse. Something I've always wanted to do. I want to make my money this way, which is totally fine. It's understandable. And what's to say? Yes, was it shady of Karen to talk about adding candles to her line while Wendy is opening a candle line? But it flashed back to 4 years ago in the season that the House of Huger will be advancing the candles. It just needs to take the time for it to be, fine tuned out so she can now get it out. Because the same thing with the perfume, it needed a couple years to get it tuned out, financed it, and made it perfect for the right time to come out. So, Wendy now said that her candle line would now have 5-wick and 7-wick candles. I'm like, go ahead, Wendy, do you, girl, do you. Then we get a non-needed scene of them in between taping that Robin has to take a shit. She's constipated, I guess. She usually go 2 times in the morning, 9 or 11. And are you a lunch gal? Are you after lunch gal? No, I'm like this. I'm like this. Do we even give a shit about her bowel movements? I don't. Gross. So it's ending with Robin and Giselle with these marital rumors. Now, since it's talking about from a non-credible blog that you're talking about by my husband, why continue to bring it onto the show? Even though, Wendy, people make blogs every day and people create issues, they create stories that people will get, flack on. People also turn an interest in. It's kind of like what happens when you're on a reality show. A blog or two will get brought up, and even though it's not true, you have the power to not say, I'm not talking about this because I don't believe it's true. But it is also disheartening that the people who call your friends are bringing up a rumor that you know is not true. Because it kept on saying that. And we was like, if it's not true, why bring it up? Because you guys had no storyline. Oh, I got a pimple. You guys had no storyline. You guys had nothing going on for yourself. And now y'all want to, pretty much claw onto anything that y'all find and just run with it. Because it was asked, who knew about the rumor? Only a small number of people knew. Karen knew. I think Robin and Giselle knew. But it was like, we didn't believe it. And that's what they kept saying. But you kept bringing it up, which made it an issue, which made Wendy get upset and call your ass out because what Karen said about you, true facts. Because Giselle says being on this show, we have to navigate through all this other social media bullshit. Ashley's had, even though both you and Ashley have had true statements about y'all lives. Nothing came true about Wendy's life, even though we don't know yet, but it still does suck though that you guys made your whole entire story about whether or not the rumors were true, and it's connected to her behavior because of all her surgeries. And, at some point, you can't police my behavior, right? Because it was said earlier that Giselle rolled off her shoulders that the blog about having a hot box did not be anything. But then Wendy said, but we can't police our behavior, right? I can't tell y'all how to feel because it's not how I want you to feel. But you can't tell me that I can't react the way that I want to react when hearing that my so-called friends are happy talking about my husband possibly cheating on me. You think I'm going to take that lightly? Hell the fuck no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So then it's like, first of all, you're talking about my surgeries, that that's the way to keep a man. How dare you as a woman to say something out your mouth? That's misogyny. And you've had a whole tummy tuck. But did you keep Jamal? Insane. I was like, ooh, Wendy, damn. Wendy did not come to play, y'all. She is keeping their footstools. She's keeping her foot on both of their necks. I'm just like, ooh, child. Child, I was like, yo, damn, that's a cliffhanger if I don't see nothing else. So next week, the husbands come on stage, and we got more of Mia's tweets about her wanting her husband, wanting Candace's husband. We got a call from Mama Dot. Oh, my God. I was already tell who's not there. Michael's not there, and Juan is not there. Since Askell is gone, I don't think Dre's there either. But, whew, that was a lot to digest. Excuse me. That was a pretty good second part of the conversation. I'll say that. But that's it, you guys. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.